My dad's professional life was well acquainted with the setting like today. Nobody lives forever. He helped people and their families prepare for eventual death, guiding them through the legal process while creating life plans and make sure their wishes were followed after their passing. He spent a lot of time helping widows and children around town. He put gentle in the word gentleman, and he clearly understood the circle of life and what a life he lived. As a child, he enjoyed talking to his grandfather, who fought in the Civil War as a private in the Union Army. He lived in a house without bathrooms and where they pumped their water by hand from a well in the backyard. He attended a one-room school with kids in every grade, listening to the same teacher. Wah, wah, wah. Little Charlie Brown. He loved his childhood and talked about it often. He first learned to drive his dad's Model A Ford, which he dented twice. By the time he left the Navy, he had 2,000 hours of actual flight time and had piloted every plane in the Navy arsenal. He would proudly tell you that he never dented a single plane or an aircraft carrier. He taught my sister and I how to ride a bike and how to drive a car. Some of the grandkids too. No comment on the number of dents that are involved with that. He taught my sister how to read in his lap by going over the newspaper's daily comments with her word by word. In fact, he read the funnies every day of his life, including his last day at home, with the help of a magnifying glass. He was on the school board long enough to shake hands with both my sister and I on the podium during high school graduation. He had a superpower in always finding a way to stay above the fray. It's tough to roll around in the mud with somebody and not get dirty, he'd say. Running changed his life. When we were young, he joined a YMCA group. They met 3 nights a week to run around the high school track. Early on, he would show up in his old Chuck Taylor high tops. That was the start of a 40-plus year discipline of him jogging the local streets at dark 30 before heading off for a full day of work. Some of his best work was in the letters he wrote that some of the others had mentioned. I received them weekly when I was in school. I saved every one of them. My parents have been members of this church since 1959, 2 remodels ago. He joined the Encinitas Rotary Club in 1963 and never left until Parkinson's disease made him. We saw the last 2 games that John Wooden never coached, long before I ever dreamed of working at UCLA. We were lucky enough to get seats 3 rows from the top in the San Diego Sports Arena. They could have been in the front row, and I wouldn't have been any happier. My dad connected with me like no other. Do you remember the movie Field of Dreams? Kevin Costner is a farmer struggling to make ends meet when he hears a whisper night after night. Build it, and he will come. As the movie plays out, we learn the story. It's about a father-son relationship and the long-standing desire of the son to play catch with his dad. My dad spent so much time loving on me, I'll never have those regrets. The last conversation I had with him before he got really sick, Pop, too bad you don't have a nickel for every pitch, ground ball, and rebound. We shared. His immediate response came with a big smile. It was fun, he said. Never were truer words spoken. I can remember being a little bitty on catch with him in our backyard. We only had 1 glove, my dad's Veda Pinson autographed Spalding. He let me wear the glove while he caught the ball barehanded. Later, I was a cap leader, playing at Cardiff Elementary School in a ragtag field, going mano a mano against fellow 8-year-olds. I remember pitching while trying to ignore opponent chants. You know, we want a pitcher, not a belly itcher. I lined up and threw a ball about 10 feet over the batter's head. No kidding. Bob Uecker would have called it just a bit high. As soon as the ball hit the top of the backstop, I glanced over at my dad, who was the scorekeeper. He was laughing hard. And I'm thinking, good grief, this isn't funny at all. My dad had perspective. He taught both my mom and sister how to keep score. Growing up around my house, if anybody said 643, that's not a random area code or an answer to a pop math quiz. That's baseball speak, scorekeeper speak, for a ground ball double play. Mitchell to Hawkins to who's on first. I know my dad rooted for me on the inside, but I don't remember him outwardly cheering for me. I never heard him criticize a coach, player, umpire, or official. I loved talking to him after games to learn what he saw. I wanted to improve, and I'm sure he wanted that for me too. But he had a parallel purpose. He would talk about specific game situations and about principles in a way that I could understand. Dad would say, winning is a great feeling, but that feeling passes, and what's left is what you've learned. The ball bounces funny sometimes, but it seems to find energy, and it often has a way of bouncing to those who are most prepared. Scott, winning isn't the point. Wanting to win is the point. Not giving up is the point. Never letting up is the point. Never letting anyone down is the point. You'll get beat sometimes, but you don't want to be out-hustled. Play to win, but lose like a champion. What counts most in life is trying. When I think of my dad and family and friends, I think of the foundation he laid. His actions, his words, his beliefs, his attitude, his path, all straight and true, proven to stand the test of time. Maybe we'd be wise enough to lean into that foundation in both challenging and good times. When we're faced with decisions and situations, we have a library of memories he provided that can help lead the way forward. Pop, I surely hope to join you in heaven someday. I want you to know that down here, when I think of you, I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. Could you roll the video, please?